The Springboks' bold bomb squad strategy, which has been dominating the game with impactful substitutions, is now at the centre of a heated controversy. Critics and commentators are at a loss, and none other than rugby writer Stephen Jones is calling for World Rugby to diffuse this tactic once and for all. But the most shocking part? Jones didn't hold back, labelling Rassie Erasmus as arrogant for adopting this strategy, suggesting that the South African coach may have crossed a sacred line. Over the past few years, the South African team has stood out and stirred controversy with its unique approach of stacking the bench with 6 forwards and only 2 backs. This tactic helped the Springboks claim the World Cup title in 2019, and in 2023 they took it even further with a 7-1 bench split, adding even more power to exhaust their opponents in the second half. However, Jones sees this in a very different light. In a scathing critique, he stated, "No doubt the actions of Erasmus were arrogant. He has enough resources to afford arrogance. The Boks are an unlovely bunch to outsiders, Erasmus himself having been given bans for criticising referees." Strong words, and they're sure to spark reaction among South African fans and the wider rugby community. But Jones didn't stop there. He questioned the direction rugby is taking by allowing so many forward substitutions, suggesting that it's turning the sport into an overwhelming clash of physical power. What can be done for the sport to bomb out bomb squads wherever they gather? It is a truism and yet also the inherent weakness of the modern day game that huge guys almost always prevail over the normal sized ones. For Jones, the size and strength of today's players are taking rugby to a dangerous place, and he warns of potential health consequences for the athletes. Everyone knows that the sheer mass of rugby players at the moment is making the sport more dangerous to play, and as we wait for the results of various high-level medical investigations, it could also be, at its elite end, causing potentially horrible illnesses. Surely the answer should be easy. Rugby must crop fiercely the number of replacements allowed on the pitch. It still seems crazy that the number of permitted replacements has now gone up by such a degree that most teams end the game with less than half of their starters still on the field. Jones argues that one solution would be to severely reduce the number of allowed substitutions so the game can open up again, and players would, quite literally, need to tire out on the field rather than relying on fresh reinforcements in the final minutes. It was never meant to be like that, because in rugby you were meant to get tired, spaces were meant to open up, and if your opponent got the better of you in the power game, then why did you deserve to bring on fresh men? 8 replacements per match is far too many. But has Jones really grasped the positive impact of the bomb squad on game strategy? After all, rugby has always been a sport of evolution, and adapting to the opponent is essential to competition. The bomb squad tactic is more than just about substituting players. It's a way to maintain game intensity until the final minute, maximizing each player's skills and strength. Rather than limiting this innovation, wouldn't it be more interesting to understand how it challenges what we know about the sport? What do you think of Stephen Jones's criticism? Does the bomb squad really represent a problem, or is it a legitimate innovation that's changing the game for the better? Ultimately, is it fair to ask World Rugby to intervene in a tactic that brings a fresh dimension to the sport? Share your opinion and stay tuned with us at Green and Gold Army News for all the latest updates.